guys, I'm going to talk about something that I think is really relevant to lots of people that watch my videos. And I am doing another collaboration with a really good friend of mine on YouTube, DEENASS88, and she is doing a video about dealing with bullies at school. And I am doing a video about just how to generally think positively about school, things that I loved about school, and the reason that I think you guys should just enjoy the fact that you're at school, because once you finish school and real life basically pokes you with a little stick, life is just totally different. Honestly, if you guys don't realise it now, school is like the best time of your life. School, education, university is like the best time of your life. And I know it seems really horrible because you've got homework and exams and stuff, but honestly, compared to like the real life situation and real life stresses and real life working and stuff like that, and you know, pressures of just working, school is like an absolute doddle. And I know it doesn't seem like it now, but this is why when I look back on my life at school, I think, oh my god, like school was so easy. Like I really should have made the most of it when I was there. School is kind of like one of those situations where you're around your friends every single day, and you should like enjoy that and love it and just really like take every moment as it comes, because when you go to work, you don't get to see your friends every day. Like, you don't get to spend time with your best friends every day. You don't get to do things with your friends every day. And weekends, I mean, I work weekends. It's just totally different because everybody has, you know, either my friends are married or they've got kids, and it's just really, really difficult to like keep in contact with everybody because work basically takes over your whole life. Like, you've got to rearrange everything around your working life. And I think that is a lot harder than people think it is, because when you're working, you've got the pressures of making money, you've got the pressures of your boss, you've got the pressures of staffing stuff, you've got the pressures of customers and lawsuits and things like that. You don't have any of that to kind of worry about when you're at school. Like, the worst thing you've got to worry about is homework. And the thing is, I'm really glad, like, with respect to my parents and stuff, like, they were really strict when I was growing up, because my parents own a paper shop and they work really, really long hours. The shop is open about 11 hours a day, so my dad is like working like really, really long hours, and they were open 7 days a week, and they open at like, you know, my dad has to get up at like 5:45 every single morning. He used to say to me when I was little, if you don't study and you don't do well at school and you don't get a decent career and like education and a decent job, you are going to be working the same number of hours that I do, and I don't want you to have to do that. And every time, like, you know, I didn't do very well in an exam, my dad used to be really disappointed. Now I look back and think he wasn't angry with me, but he just didn't want me to have the same life that he did. And when my parents first came to this country, like, my dad was working 2 jobs. He had to leave India in the middle of his like education, and he said it was really, really difficult not having an education on his background, because nobody wanted to hire him, he couldn't get decent jobs, he was working 2 jobs just to make the money. And I've got the luxury of my mum and dad paying for education up until the age of like 18 and then through university as well. So I was really, really lucky that my parents were actually quite strict, and they're not doing it to be horrible, they're doing it because they want you to have a really good life. And now I'm so glad, like, when I look back on my school life, I was like, you know, I did make the most of my school life, I did enjoy being with my friends, but education was like at the foremost of my school life, and then came friends underneath, because as like an Asian, that's basically what happens. Like, you don't go to school to socialise and see your friends, you go to school to get your education. And I'm really kind of glad when I look back on it, because, you know, I do have a decent job, I do make decent money, I don't, you know, I'm not rich or anything like that, but I do enjoy what I do, and I think that is so important, that you enjoy what you do every single day. School, in comparison to work, in my opinion, is really, really easy. I don't mean like the exam side of it, because I was never really a fan of exams, but I'm talking about just the general life of being at school. Like, you know, you only have to worry about homework, and then you can go and do whatever you want. You don't have the issues of finances, you don't have to worry about paying bills and stuff like that when you're living at home with your parents and you're young, because, you know, they will fund your education through school, and obviously some schools you don't have to pay fees for. But my parents, they wanted me to go to specific private schools, and they wanted to pay for my education, so I'm really, really grateful that they did, because obviously I don't think I would be where I was. I did opt to go to an all-girls school, because from a really young age I'd always gone to an all-girls school, and I didn't really want, I know this sounded a bit geekish, but I didn't really want boys to distract my education, so I always went to an all-girls school until I was the age of 18, and then obviously university, and I went to college in the middle because I did mess up a year. I went to college in the middle where I was exposed to boys, and, you know, they are a little bit distracting. But when I went to university, obviously the hardest bit of like my education was definitely my A A-level. A-level was really, really difficult because you wanted to get into the degree that you wanted to do, and in order to do the career that you wanted to do, you had to get certain grades to get in. So A-level was like, in the UK, is the bit that you do before you go to university and you get the grades that you need to get into your degree. And I found A-levels, you know, quite difficult because, you know, they are meant to be tough, but certain degrees, they're going to ask for certain grades and you have to get them if you want to do what you want to do. So I'd say, like, education is like the key to opening doors everywhere, and that is one thing that you don't realise when you're at school. And I'm telling you this from like being a nearly 30-year-old. Like, education is so important, and I can't really stress that enough, because I've gone out with, like, you know, my ex-boyfriend. Like, he went to university just to study business. He went to university, and he admitted this to me, and he said, I went to university just for the student life. I wanted to party and like date girls and stuff for 3 years, and I didn't really think about what I wanted to do. And he is now struggling to kind of work up in his career. I mean, he's doing it, but it's taking him a very long time. If he'd done a degree that kind of, you know, was specific to what he wanted to do, he would probably be earning the money that he wanted already without having to stress to get that far. And I think also with education, it's really important that you pick a career that you want to do. I am going to do a whole video on like what I do and my job and how I decided I want to do it, and the fact that I love it, and I'm really glad that I'm doing something that I love. But that is like a whole nother video. This video is focused on for those guys that are at school. I just want to stress how important it is that you just study and you just get by, because you want an easy life. You don't want to be stressing, you don't want to be unhappy, you want to be doing something that you love for the rest of your life and have a decent amount of money coming in. I'm not saying that you can't be happy without money, but honestly, money makes everything so much easier when you're not stressing about bills and things like that. Like, at the moment we have an apprentice at work, and she's getting paid like £3 something an hour, and she's stressing about food, she's stressing about money, and it's all because she didn't finish school and she kind of dropped out halfway through school because she just wasn't motivated enough. And now I have conversations with her every day, and I say to her, you know, if we can just get you through your apprenticeship and you do this BTEC course and you do this, so you've got a qualification under your belt that is going to help you get another job. And I said to her, like, I will help you progress in optics if you want to do this, but you have to let me know what you want to do. If not, you've got a customer service qualification under your belt and you can use that to go further. And she just says to me, I just wish I hadn't left school, because, like, you know, if she had GCSEs under her belt, she could have then done another qualification. But, you know, people just end up in random jobs that they don't really want to do, and I don't think that's being happy, because when I have children, I want them to do something that they absolutely love doing. The thing is, you know, there's a scale between doing something that makes you crap loads of money and doing something that you absolutely love, because not everything that you love is going to make you crap loads of money. But with me, I'm lucky enough to do something that makes alright money. I'm not going to say, yeah, like I said, I don't make a lot of money, but I make money that is enough for me to be happy, and it's something that I absolutely love doing. Don't go to uni for the sake of it, like, really don't go to university, but school is honestly like the best time, or honestly, of your life. So just enjoy it, but realise that you're there for a reason, and you have to come out with certain grades to do what you want to do. And you should start thinking about your careers at the age of 14, 15, because it can take a long time to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. If you guys want any suggestions, or, you know, there are careers advisors that you can go to, there are websites on courses and stuff that you can look at, but just think about the stuff that you love doing and look for a career into it. So if you're somebody that, you know, likes computers and, you know, you're not really a people person, you're a bit of an introvert, you can do an office job. You know, there's so many things. You just have to think about what you want to do. If you are into like mentoring and coaching and you like being around other people, and, you know, you could think about teaching and stuff like that, but think about what you want to do from a young age, because honestly, if you go into your career and you are not happy, work is going to be such a chore, whereas I actually really enjoy going to work. I think I'm really lucky in that sense, because I think you kind of got it made if you love what you do every single day and you get paid for doing what you love doing. I know this sounds a little bit of a like high and mighty video. I don't mean it to come across like that at all. I'm just saying, from messages I get from girls, and when me and Dina were deciding what to do videos on, I was like, you know, I just really want to talk about like why you should be at school with like a positive attitude, because honestly, like, school's really important. Don't think of it as something that you have to do. Think about it as the stepping stones to your future, because honestly, oh, it sounds really philosophical. Think about it as your future, because it will open so many doors. So I'm really grateful to my parents for like pushing me. And at first, when I was younger, I was thinking, oh god, they're being horrible, they're just not letting me have a life and blah blah. And now I'm so grateful, because now, because of that, I can do what I want and go where I want, and I know that I'm doing something something that I love every single day. I am, you know, I'm not working the same hours as my mum and dad, but I don't work the same hours because it's just, you know, I couldn't do what they do, but they didn't have a choice. Think about your education, think about what you're going to do in the future. Like I said, Deena's got a video all about bullying at school and that side of school that I never really had to deal with, but she has sort of studied in this field of the way people think and stuff. I think the video that she's going to make is going to make a massive amount of sense to a lot of you. So please watch that video because I'm sure it'll be like an eye-opener, and she's going to talk all about how to deal with bullying at school, what to do about it, and I really think you guys should like check out her channel. I'll put the link underneath for her video, and you guys probably know Deena because we've collabed in the past before a couple of times. She definitely will have some words of wisdom for you, so take her advice, listen to what she says, and I'm sure that you guys will find your school life is just much more of a nice experience, because I certainly enjoyed school. I didn't enjoy the bits where my parents were strict, but I completely understand why they were doing that, and I'm eternally grateful for like everything my parents have done for me. So enjoy being at school because, you know, it's great. Like seeing your friends every day, like it's amazing, and you get to learn stuff. And you know, a situation where you're with your friends and you're learning together, like just sounds like an ideal situation. When you go to work, it is not like that. Like trust me, it is not like that. You can't pull sick days because you're not going to get paid for it. And you know, when you've got responsibilities of like kids and family, like you really can't be like messing about. Like work is important, but in order to do something that you love, you just basically have to study at school. So I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh god, she's just going off on one, but honestly, I can't stress that enough. It's because I care about you and I want you all to be happy, and I will see you guys in the next video.